Hi guys, and welcome to my 1000 subscriber special episode. So a couple of weeks ago on the channel, as you know from this video happening right now, we hit 1000 subscribers, which is absolutely incredible. It wasn't anything I thought that would happen when we first started the channel out just over a year ago, when I first started putting content out, and it's just absolutely incredible to kind of hit that mark, and just really kind of humbling from you, kind of the point of view from you guys, the support that I've had from starting it and continuing right up to now. It's really just amazing. So thank you so much firstly to each and every single one of you that supported the channel throughout this little journey that we've been on so far, and I hope this little kind of episode here, which is really just a kind of a big thank you to you guys, and I wanted to do something different. I hope you enjoy it. So basically I'm not going to be doing any Pokemon battling today. What I wanted to do in this episode was something a little bit different, and just kind of give you guys a little history, a brief overview of my journey from when I kind of first discovered Pokemon, how I got into competitive playing, and where we've ended up now. So I hope you enjoy it. There will be a prize giveaway as well at some point. I will reveal that, and we'll get into how you can win the special prizes and things like that. But it's weird, when I first started the channel out, I really regret not starting a YouTube channel a long time ago, and that's something that I have to just live with. But all I can do is just keep on going and try and kind of make up for that now for not doing it so long ago. But the main reason for when I started last year was, I know, like, heart of hearts, I'm not going to be playing competitive Pokemon forever. You know, life things take you away from putting in as much time as you want, and I don't get enough time now with work and other commitments and things like that I would love to be able to play Pokemon a lot more than I used, than I can do now at the moment. And I think there will become a point where I have to say, right, I really need to step back and maybe just absorb and enjoy Pokemon from a little distance back, and that's not anytime soon, but you know, you've got to be realistic about these things. But before I wanted to really kind of get to that point, I wanted to try and give something back to the community, because Pokemon's been such a massive part of my life, and it really has been something that I just feel is just amazing, and I love it so much, and I want to be able to give something back to newer players coming into the competitive scene, help them if I can get into the competitive scene and then enjoy it as much as I have and got as much out of it as I have over the years. So what I kind of wanted to do was just talk you through how it's all happened and how we got here today. So basically, let's go right back to the start. So with Pokemon Red came out, now I can't even remember how old I was, but I remember going into middle school. My brother Scott, he is 2 years younger than me, so he was in first school still, and when I used to leave for school in the mornings, I used to leave a little bit earlier than him, and I remember this, like, it was in the run up to Christmas time. I think it was like September, October time, and I remember every day I would come home from school and he would be talking about this cartoon that he'd been watching in the mornings. And he'd be like, you need to try and stay a little bit longer to watch this cartoon. It's like the most cool thing ever. It's called Pokemon. And then I was like, what is this Pokemon thing? And so happens, like a week later, I got pretty sick, so I was off school. So my brother has his breakfast, comes into the lounge, into the front room, turns the TV on and puts Pokemon on, and I'm like, oh my god. From the first episode I saw, it was amazing. It was like, I was like, oh my god, this is cool. So I got really hooked on it from then. And I used to push my luck in the mornings, and my mum would go crazy with me to try and make me leave so I wasn't late for school, but I'd try and catch this cartoon in the mornings. And for Christmas every year, what my mum used to do was buy me a copy of, like, a subscription for the Nintendo official magazine. So every month that would come out, I'd get it delivered to the house, and I was a huge Nintendo fan as well, and I remember reading it this one day about this video game that was coming out called Pokémon. It was huge in Japan. They were releasing it in the UK, and I thought, wow, this is the Pokémon cartoon that I'm watching. The game's coming out. So when the release date came out, I can't remember exactly when it was, but I remember going down to my local video game store, and I remember waiting outside for it to open, going in, and there it was. They had Pokemon Red and Blue, and I picked up Pokemon Red, and my brother picked Pokemon Blue, and from there, that was where my Pokemon love came from. The video game, it was probably the best video game that I'd ever played. I was just so absorbed in it. I loved everything about it, catching the Pokemon, training them up, and battling. And the battling side of it was just something I absolutely loved. And then from there, Pokemon Stadium came out, and the funny thing is, that year, I think it was the year after the game came out, so in 2000, and I don't know how many of you guys know this, there was a World Championships organised by Nintendo. I don't know if the Pokemon Company was a thing back then. I think it was still franchised under Nintendo. But there was a 2000 Pokemon World Championships, and I'm just going to pull this up because I found some really rare footage of, and I'm just going to have this playing in the background while we'll go through this. But there was a tournament that year, and you could enter it by, there was regional heats around, so there was in different countries around the world, and regional heats within those countries. And to enter, you had to send in, like, fill in a little form with your name, what your favourite Pokemon and things like that was, and send it away. And there was 128 slots at each regional event around the country. And you had to wait to get a letter back saying that you were entered and you could turn up and you got a time slot and things like this. And now it got to like a week before the event, where I grew up in Northumberland, which is very close to Newcastle. So I am a Geordie boy at heart. But it got to like a week before the event was going to be starting in Newcastle in the Metro Centre, and I was like, I haven't got a letter. And I remember speaking to my mum and dad and saying, oh, I was super disappointed because I've been training up a team and things like this, and I just really didn't think I was going to get a letter. And on the Wednesday before the Saturday, the post came in the morning, and I used to check every day before school as well. I'd go down, because our garage where we go out, and there would be a letterbox there, so the post would come through there. So I'd run through the kitchen, through the utility room, down the steps into the garage, and I'd check for the post, watch the post pop through, and check, see if there was anything for me. And so many mornings there was just so much disappointment, and then this Wednesday this letter arrived, and it was for me, and I opened it up, and it was an invitation to play at the regional heats for the Pokemon World Championships in 2000. So I was like, that was probably the best moment of my life at that point. It sounds a bit exaggerated, but it was amazing. So my mum, unfortunately as well, my brother had entered, but unfortunately for my brother, he didn't get a letter. So I was really sad for him. But he was happy for me to go along. So we went up on the Saturday. We had what happened in the letter was, it said you had it. I really wish I had it because I've still got it at my parents', and if I ever go back up and remember to grab it, because I've got so much stuff from that event still at my parents', so I will bring it and I will share it with you guys. But it will give you a time slot of what time you needed to turn up, what time the first battle was, and you got a Boulder badge as well. And these are the badges, if you can see, that you got. So these are really cool. And the sad thing is, I can't find my Boulder badge. I've misplaced it, so I'm a bit disappointed about that. So we went to the tournament. It was played on Pokémon Stadium as well, which was really cool. And you played 3-on-3. It was single battles. Double battles weren't a thing there. And I remember having a team. I was so young and naive and didn't really know anything about competitive Pokemon, but I was just in love with the competitive scene. And you know, that's all I want to do, battle people, battle real people. It was amazing. It was just like this cool thing. So we went up there, and I had a team, I think I remember Gengar I had in there, I had Zapdos, Venusaur, Charizard, I swear I had Clefable and Jolteon as well, I think I had. So it was a really weird team. But that tournament, so every round we played, you got put into like groups, and you played everyone in your group, and every round you won, it was best of one, you got a little badge. So there's my round 1 badge that I got. Then you've got the Thunder badge, so you got a badge for each gym, if I can do it properly and show you, which is really cool. And there, and I managed to get to the semi-finals of this regional heat. And is this, yeah, this is video 2 as well. So there's 6 parts to these videos that I think it was one of the German guys had uploaded, and I'll link them in the description below, so you guys can go and check them out if you want. But it's like the only footage I can find online of this event, which is a real shame, because it was amazing. But anyway, getting back to the event. So I remember getting to the semi-finals, and that was just incredible. And the thing is with this tournament as well, the top 2 players from each regional heat got invited to the UK, what is the equivalent of a national finals, and then the winner of that got invited to the World Championships, which was in Australia that year. I think it was the same year as the Olympics going on. So it was a massive big deal, and I got absolutely smashed in my semi-final match by a bald beaming Starmie, and I was devastated. I was so upset, because I was just like, I thought like, that's my chance gone. I got so close, and I just didn't do it. And I think I didn't speak to anyone for like 2 days or something crazy like that. I remember going home and I was so bummed out, and you know, it was one of those things. I think it was the point where I kind of realised how much I loved just the competitive side of playing the video games, and that was kind of the start of the journey for myself. From there, I think the next tournament that I used to always keep track of the Nintendo magazine. So every month I would look in it, see if there's any tournaments happening, if there was any news on the 2001 World Championships or anything like that. Alas, there wasn't though. And Nintendo magazine organised that Christmas after the World Championships, which happened in the summer of 2000, so Christmas 2000, they organised a UK tour of the Nintendo official magazine team and the current World Championship. So this tournament here that's playing on the screen was won by a player from the UK called Darren Van Veren. He actually won the whole thing. And the Nintendo official magazine arranged a tour with him to tour around the UK for to give Pokemon trainers the chance to battle him. So there was a location, one of these events in Newcastle. Again, my mum, being amazing, took me and my brother up to this event this day. My brother didn't actually play in this event, and how it was set out was you got a slip when you went in, and you had to challenge 5 random trainers and beat them all. And every time you beat them, you got a special stamp. And once you'd done that, you got to go to a panel, which was 3 Nintendo official magazine writers, and you had to play one of those. And if you beat one of them, and this again was 3-on-3 battles, singles, and if you beat one of them, then you got to go on to either battle, you got to choose between Dave, who is the Pokemon guru of the Nintendo official magazine, or you got to battle Darren Van Veren, who is the current Pokemon World Champion. So I managed to beat the 5 trainers. I managed to beat one of the guys on the Nintendo panel, the 3, and then it came to my decision. And I remember the woman, me going up to the woman, she was like, who would you like to battle? Would you like to battle Dave, or would you like to battle Darren? And for me, it was like a super ridiculous question, because as much as I like reading Dave's articles and things in the magazine every month, I didn't want to battle Dave. I thought I could play and battle Dave I could beat him all day long. I want to play the world champion. So I went and played Darren, and it was a one-on-one match. And what happened was we both ended up using Mewtwo, which is kind of crazy. And it was like a double team, so we both double team up. And I had Blizzard on my Mewtwo, where I think he had Amnesia. And I hit a Blizzard and froze his Mewtwo, so it meant I won the match, which was like the most ridiculous outcome. So the biggest hacks ever you can imagine. But I beat the current world champion because of it. Because of the Thor, I don't think there was any mechanic in Red, Blue and Yellow where you thawed out when you froze an opponent. So once you froze something, that was it. It was never an unthawing. So I managed to win the battle, and being a little kid at this point, Darren was a lot older than me, but he was a super nice guy, and we'll probably see him on the screen. There he is there, and he's British hat with his British flag. There you can see him there, and he was absolutely amazing with me, and we got chatting for quite a while. He spent about 15-20 minutes chatting to me, and asking me what I knew about Pokemon competitively, what strategies and things I knew about. And I really was like literally I just played at home, played with my brother, played with friends, and just kind of, you know, built teams that way. But I didn't really know the in-depth and strategies and stuff like that. And he gave me this website. He said, right, go on this website called Azure Heights. He was like, if you join there and you keep up and read articles and get involved with the community, you will learn lots of stuff about how to play Pokemon on a higher level. And I thought, oh, that's amazing. So I went home and I visited Azure Heights, and Azure Heights is kind of like the equivalent to what Nugget Bridge was, or Trainer Tower is now. And back in the day, it was like this amazing website, and I remember registering there, and I learned so much from that website. I have a lot to thank for that website and the users that were on there, that forum. It was amazing, and I learned pretty much the fundamentals of playing Pokemon through that. And then the journey continues. I waited and waited and waited. Pokemon Gold and Silver came out, and I was like, there has to be a tournament. There has to be a tournament for Gold and Silver. It's like the coolest games. And I remember we played singles online on the battle simulators back then, because there was no Wi-Fi where you could kind of go online and find random battles, or a battle spot ladder equivalent. So we go on the simulators, and you'd play these mad like 200-300 turn single battles, and I got pretty good. And the sad thing was there was never a tournament, another tournament arranged in the UK to play on Gold, Silver and Crystal. I did go to an event which was a special event for Crystal when that came out, and you'd go along and compete, and you got a special edition of the Crystal cartridge, and it had 20 special edition Celebes on there, and you got them to take home, distribute to your friends, and then you send the cartridge back to them, and then you send you a real game cart, which is kind of cool. But I never completed giving them all out, so I've still got that cartridge with like 20 Celebes on at home, which I guess is kind of nice, and it's a little collector's item, which is pretty cool. But sadly there was no tournament after that, and I think it was when Ruby and Sapphire came out, I don't know how many years after that, and they organised a world championship. But what you had to do this year was, I think they picked 8 people or 16 people to participate in the tournament that year on Ruby and Sapphire, and you had to go to your local Toys R Us and you had to answer a question and put it in a ballot box, and if you were lucky enough to get your name picked out the hat, and I swear it was something like ridiculous, like 16 people from a whole region, you got to go along and compete. And sadly I didn't get my name picked out that year, so I didn't get to compete. And that was kind of like a big, like really heartbreaking moment for myself, when I kind of realized, and you know, after month on month, you know, searching online, trying to find out information, about tournaments and things, if they were going to be taking place, world championships, when the next ones were going to be. And I think that the continuous heartbreak of just nothing being arranged kind of got to me a little bit, and I stopped playing so much online competitively, and I kind of really took a big step away from Pokemon, and that was a little bit sad. I never lost my love for the game or anything like that, but I just felt like I'm playing competitively online, I enjoy it, but there's nothing where I can kind of transition this into real life, because the real life battling tournaments was something that I really loved. And at that point I kind of just stopped really playing Pokemon at all, and found a love in playing music, got into bands, started liking girls instead of Pokemon and all that sort of thing, like just normal life. And it's a little bit sad. And then it wasn't until 2009 when I found out about I remember I was at my first year of university, and I was reading an article online, and it was like video game championships, UK nationals in London, and I thought, wow, they're starting to do it again, that's cool. And for my birthday that year, my girlfriend had bought me a DS and Pokemon Pearl, which I have here still to this very day, but I hadn't played it at all. It was like 2 weeks till the tournament, and I literally, I was like, well, I can't learn a whole format, I can't learn all of these new Pokemon, I can't learn double battles because I've never played doubles battle before, I've only played singles, and I thought it's an impossible task. But I thought, let's have a go at it and let's go along to London. And I went along to London, and I think I got to, like, it was back then, there was no masters, seniors and juniors, it was just seniors and juniors. And I remember rocking up to the tournament, and it was like another weird scenario where I think only 128 people got entered into the tournament, so it was like the first 128, it was like a lottery if you got in or not. At the event, if there was more people there, then if your number didn't get drawn out, you didn't get to compete, which is crazy when you think about it compared to what it's like now. And I went out in round 2. I just wasn't prepared. I didn't have any experience in double battles at all, and then I saw that this was a thing. The video game championships were the thing that they're going to push and make, you know, keep going year on year. So I thought, right, next year, 2010 is where I want to try and start. So scrubbed out 2009 and started learning about Pokemon again, and learning about double battles, and finding sites online where I could learn things, battle simulators where I could practice. And 2010 rolled round. I'm going to stop this now because we've got more videos to play, I think. If I can just go here. Yeah, so 2010 rolled round, and I'll play this in a minute because I'll tell a little story now. So 2010 rolled round, and the rules were that, yeah, we had restricted legendaries, which were Kyogre, Groudon, Giratina, Dialga, Palkia, Pokemon like that we'd never been able to use before in a format. So it was really exciting, and I spent this whole year kind of leading up to this next tournament, which was at Birmingham in the UK. I spent this whole year kind of planning and preparing for this tournament, and I went along to the event. Again, it was one of those events. It was still seniors and juniors, so it's seniors division, and I think the cap was 256 players. So if what they did was, it was a first turn up, first serve basis. If you were 257th in the queue on the day, unfortunately you couldn't play. So it seems crazy. There was no entry fees or anything, but I made sure I was there super early. I was in the queue. I was at the very front. I was it was the first time I met Marty Bennett, so I was in the queue with Marty and a very well-known German player, Piccolo. Us three were at the front of the queue, so there's no doubt that we weren't going to get in, so it was cool. And the queue kept growing and growing and growing, and then the tournament started, and I didn't really know what to expect there. And I was super nervous about going into first round, and this is single elimination as well. So if you lose one game, you are out of the tournament. You could go into round 1 and you could lose, and that's it. It's a crazy system, But I managed to win round 1, round 2, round 3, and round 4. And then you got to go onto this area called the Winners' Lounge, which is crazy. So you progress through these 4 rounds, and then you move on to the Winners' Lounge, which kind of makes up to 32 players. 32 players should be in that Winners' Lounge. So you're waiting around to play your top 32 match, and I've actually still got the card. You used to get these cards and they'd give you a lanyard. I haven't got the first one that I played, because they take that away and then they give you a new one for the top 32. If you guys can see that, you can see I finished 3rd that year, which is pretty crazy. So top 32 started, and I wish I still had the games, and I've looked high and low for them online, but I just can't find them. And I played a guy, James Green, who goes under the name Geck. He used to be a big figure in the community, UK community, and an extremely strong player. And I remember playing him. I ran that year, ran Kyogre, Infernape, Dialga, Bombasnow, Palkia, and I can't remember my 6th Pokemon. What was my 6th Pokemon there? No, I can't remember. Can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, my kind of 4 were I used to lead Scarf Kyogre, Infernape, I have Dialga and a Bombasnow on the back, and so I won my top 32 game, which is great. Won my top 16 game, which is amazing. Top 8, I played Belgian player that was ripping it up in the tournament that day. There was quite a few Belgian players there, and I had the whole UK community kind of cheering me on for this one, and I managed to win that. And then I faced a really good friend of mine that no longer plays Pokemon, Reece. Reece Hamilton. He's an absolutely amazing Pokemon player. Mrs. Blackbird was his online handle, or Duchess. But we played in top 4, and I lost to Reece, unfortunately. And again, it was a bit like my very first tournament, where it was only the top 2 got paid trips to the World Championships that year. This is the match. This is the semi-final match. You've got Reece on the bottom screen and me on the top screen there. I was super nervous about this match because I played Reece a gazillion times online on the battle simulators. So I knew how strong a player he was, and I knew what a big challenge it was going to be. But I just knew if I won, I'd get to this finals and I'd have a paid trip to Worlds, because there was no way I could afford at that point, like at that point in time I was at university in my second year. I think I didn't have the money to pay myself to go over to Hawaii. There's just no chance of that. So I knew I needed to win a trip to go to Worlds, and it was that was, you know, a massive dream of mine. I just wanted to attend the World Championships, and it was so close as well. And unfortunately, it just didn't happen. Top 4 I finished 3rd that year. We got invites, so 3rd and 4th got an invite to play in the World Championships, but not the paid trip, so it was even more heartbreaking. And just like that first tournament back in 2000, where I was in the semi-finals there, and I just couldn't quite do it. I just missed out on the trip and missed out on the big tournament at the end of the season again. So a little bit heartbreaking. And what did I get for that, for finishing 3rd? I think I got that. That was my prize. No, it wasn't. I lie. I got a DS. I got a DS. Did I get a DS? I'm pretty sure I got a DS, maybe. I think top 4 got DSs. Yeah, because first place got a GameCube, I think. I'm pretty sure it was a GameCube. Yeah. I'm trying to remember back. I can't really remember. And I got a DS, yeah. So I got a DS and this. which was kind of cool. But when you look in comparison to now, the prizes now, it's just insane. And then, so this is the match. Again, I'll link it in the description if you guys want to go back and play it. And then 2011 roll around, and we got the introduction of black and white. And this was the year where I started. Our community in the UK, we have one tournament a year, and I thought, you know, there's a lot more demand for tournaments and things like that in the community than one tournament a year, and especially a best of one tournament, and no Swiss rounds or anything like that. And I took it upon myself to create a Pokemon throughout the country, a tournament, independent tournament, which was called One Up Events, and we had regional heats all around the country, from like Bristol to where was the furthest we went? We went up to Leeds. There was loads of Sheffield. There was loads of places, London, and then we had a grand final in High Wycombe. And the winner of that event got a paid trip to Worlds that year to play in the last chance qualifier, and it was really cool. But being really naive with, I used a lot of my own savings to put this event on, and being really naive with costs of venue and things like that, because I paid for everything out my own pocket. There was an entry fee, but because we didn't really get the attendance that we kind of needed at the events to kind of cover costs. Every event I run, every regional event I run, I was at a loss, big loss, and it was a bit unfortunate because we got to the end of that series, and we had a winner, give them the money to get the paid trip to Worlds that year, which was amazing. But unfortunately, I was like flat out broke, and I'd like literally just finished uni as well, so it meant that I couldn't continue that, and that was a little bit sad because that was something that I thought was really good at the time. It was the first kind of tournament that we'd seen in the UK with a regional structure to it, and then kind of a national structure at the end to provide some big prizes as well. It was really enjoyable doing it, but it was just not supported, and it was probably just a wrong time to kind of start doing it, and I maybe should have started a lot smaller and then built it up over time. But regardless of that, it was a lot of fun. So 2011, didn't really have a chance to play that year because I was so involved in organising these tournaments. But again, where is it? Where is it? Is it here? Here we go. I did go over to Madrid that year because Spain used to have national championships. And I'll just click over, and this is the only game I can find from the championships that year. So this is top 16 against Wasabi, who is Guillermo Castilla. I think this is, no, it's not. This is 2000. This is 2011. So this is 2011 where I actually faced Casti, very well known Spanish player in top 16. Again, single elimination, went out. So top 16, and I think top 8 this year all got the World's trips, which again, just missing out. Common theme, eh? So this is the 2012. Where I went to Spain again, and we got these cards again. So there's rounds 1 through whatever, and then I managed to get top 16 again. So I lost. This is the game from the top 16 that year, and this is Jean Pue Perez, who I played in top 16 and just narrowly lost to. He's a super nice guy. It was a really nice tournament, and I used to love going over to Madrid. But brutal tournament structure, you know, tops, like single elimination. I remember going to events in, I think we went to one in Paris one year, big group of us on a bus, and we went over there Friday night, and I remember going to the tournament like 8 o'clock the next morning, playing round 1. I got Flash, Abel, round 1. And got knocked out, and it wasn't even 9 o'clock in the morning. I travelled all that way, and I was knocked out of the tournament before it even begun. So it's a massively brutal structure to the tournament. I'm on the top of the screen here, by the way, and that kind of took us to there. and that was this 2012. And I really just thought at this point, as much as I enjoyed playing Pokemon and things like that, I just thought, am I ever going to get to Worlds? Like, all I wanted to do was get to Worlds. And you've got to remember that this is a time for getting to Worlds. It's so difficult because you're playing a best of 1 tournament. You're playing single elimination, so best of 1, like I just said. And it's either top 2 or top 4 of that tournament get paid trips to Worlds. So, and back then you had a national in the UK, a national in France, a national in Spain, and a national in Germany, I think. So 4 nationals, so 16 players. There was no championship points tallies or anything like that. There was no regionals. It was a one-off tournament, and if you did it there, then great. If you didn't, then come back next year and try again. It was just a brutal structure. But 2013 rolled round. We've nearly had the whole of this game anyway, so I'll skip on to 2013. And this is, again, the only match I can... Oh, this is a match from 2013 UK Nationals this year. So this is Birmingham. 2013 was an Open Dex format, so we had Legends and all the other Pokemon. And this is against, can't remember, I think it's Thomas, his name. But this is a cool game, so I'll just let this play on. So 2013 tournament, I think we'd already had Italian Nationals, German Nationals that year, which had travelled to both of those. There was only 3 Nationals in the circuit that season, and it was top 4 again, getting paid Worlds invites that year to Vancouver, where World Championships were in 2013. And German Nationals had not went well. I top cut that event, but didn't get any further than top 16. Italian Nationals didn't go well at all, and I was feeling really bummed out, and I was like, I'm never, like at this point I was like, I'm never gonna get, I always get really close, but I'm never gonna get to Worlds. And UK Nationals came around, and I built this team. I remember finishing in Italian Nationals, and on the bus on the way to the airport, I started kind of theorying a team, and this is the team that it kind of ended up being. And it was Hitmontop, Latios, Thundurus, Therian Form, Tyranitar, Excadrill, and Amoonguss. And this is the team that's on the screen playing right now. The quality's not great, but obviously there was no streams back then, so this is the best quality I could find for videos and stuff like that. And I put this team together on the bus, and I thought, actually it works really well, so let's kind of refine it. And I did. I practiced quite a lot with it online. Like, there was a facility then to play online against players. And I went along to UK Nationals, and I had an amazing tournament. I finished 8-1 in Swiss. I finished 2nd in the Swiss bracket. Ben Kiriakou was top with 9-0 that year. And went into the top 16 match against Jason Finch. And he had a super solid team. It was like a really slow, bulky Trick Room team with Heatran. And I was like really nervous about playing him because, you know, again, this was like the crunch game, because just before Top Cut they'd announced that the top 8 players in the UK tournament were going to all get paid trips to Worlds, which was insane. So I was like, if I win this match, I'm going to Worlds in Vancouver. This is all I've got to do. So it's like big pressure time at this point. And I remember sitting, and I won game 1. This is best of 3. Was it best of 3? Yeah, it was best of 3. Yeah, best of 3 Top Cut. So Swiss was best of 1, and then this was the first year they introduced best of 3 in Top Cut, I'm pretty sure. Is it, or was it not? Am I just making things up? I'm pretty sure it was best of 3 Top Cut, because this is, I think, the first year that Chris Brown got involved in the circuit, and Chris was at UK Nationals. So Top Cut starts, and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, which is crazy, and there's no word of a lie. The tournament, it started at like, I think I'd been in the queue at 7 o'clock that morning, and this is like 1 in the morning. So Sunday morning in the morning, playing Top Cut. sitting down, so I was absolutely exhausted and so much pressure on the line, and won game 1 against Jason. I think he won game 2, so it came down to game 3. And I managed to win, and I've never felt so emotional in my whole time playing Pokemon. I think that's one of my nicest memories from playing Pokemon that I've ever had, was that moment where I knew I'd won and I was going to be going to Worlds, and that was like insane. And I've never been so happy to just be like, I can go to Worlds. So I moved on to top 8, and in top 8, Matthias Legger, you might know him, very, very strong German player. He got top 8 as well, so we were paired up, but Matthias had to leave because his last train to London for his flight was like in like 20 minutes or something like that, so he couldn't stay to play, so he had to fold. So then I moved on to top 4, which was pretty lucky. But regardless of that, I had my Worlds trip anyway, so Matthias, if he stuck around, it would have been a really awesome match. But unfortunately for him, he'd already got his Worlds trip and paid and everything like that, so that was fine. But then I moved on to top 4, and I got paired up against Abel Sanchez, also known as Flash. Super strong Spanish player, super cool guy, and this is the match that I found, and I think this is game 3. So yeah, I think he won game 1, I won game 2, and then this goes on to game 3, and this is the semi-finals. And Flash Abel is on the top screen and I'm on the bottom screen here, and I remember thinking at this point, wow, I could get to the final. I've got a chance of winning UK Nationals, which was like the biggest dream ever. And this match was super hard, and it comes down at the end. I get a little bit greedy with my Excadrill. I make some good plays throughout this game, and it was super tight margins, but Abel just kind of just taken it then. He moved on to the finals, and that's the year that Ben Kiriakou won UK Nationals for a second time. But the main thing was I got my Worlds invite, and I got to go to Worlds for the very first time, and I absolutely loved it. I got to meet a lot of the players that I'd spoken with online. I just heard about American players, Japanese players, and it was like Australian players as well, and it was just like the most fun time I'd had ever. And I didn't do too bad at Worlds. Yeah, I think I finished 3-3 or something like that, so it wasn't too bad, but it wasn't brilliant. And then 2014 rolled round, and managed to get to Worlds again that year. Oh, and before I move on, so 2013, of all the finishes I've had, this is the only trophy I've ever had. So, which is a little bit sad, because I finished second in regionals and things like that since, and I haven't had any other trophies or bricks or anything like that. Even, we'll get onto it in a minute. So 2014 Worlds. So before Worlds, I wasn't feeling massively confident about the tournament, but I thought I didn't do too well in 2013. This is in Washington this year, and I thought I want to do well in Worlds. I want to put a lot of effort in, and I want to try and make a splash here at this tournament. And I remember about 6 weeks before the tournament, I was working super hard on a team, and I decided on what I was going to use. And this is Barish's team on the screen now. This is one of the matches from the World Championships from Swiss rounds. And I remember playing Mike Zaleski, Omega Donna in round 1. So super tough round 1 opponent. Managed to beat Mike. Then round 2, I can't remember my opponent, unfortunately. Round 3, I remember round 2 finishing, and Baris, as Baris is, he's one of these larger than life characters, coming over to me, and he was like, "Me and you are on stream now, come on." And I was like, no, because I played Baris, the last time I think I played him was 2013 Worlds, and I got beat off him. So I was still kind of thinking about that, and I was like, oh, this is going to be on the big screen as well. I thought, no. So I was pretty nervous walking up. Sat down, as you can see, we're both there. Team preview, and I'll start the match and we can have a look what happens. But this was an amazing set. I love this set, and again I'll link the video in the description below. And I managed to win the set 2-0. Sorry about spoilers, but Barish had a really strong team here. You can see he kind of went with that Gothitelle Mobile kind of core with the rain. So I was pretty kind of shaky about how to approach it, but I had one special tech on my team that really helped me that day, and that was taunt on my Tyranitar, which is like something you just never really see. And it was because a lot of the taunters, I wanted a dark type taunter that wasn't, I wanted a taunt user that wasn't weak to psychic for some reason in building, and that was the reason why. There I am a few years ago now, and there's Barish. God, he looks so young, doesn't he? And without his facial hair, young Barish. So there we go, 2014. That's amazing looking back at this sort of thing. And yeah, we get into the match, and it was a slog, but I managed to kind of just maneuver around. I had the right tools in my team, I think, to kind of overcome his kind of strategy, main strategy, and just managed to kind of get through off the back of that, which was nice. But then who did I face after that? I think I faced Marcus Liu. I faced Eloy round 2. That's who I faced round 2. I faced Colin Hire, who was my only loss. I finished the Swiss rounds of Worlds that year 5-1. So one loss, and managed to go on to top cut as well. And then this is the match. I played Judy in top 8. This is game 1. So super nervous at this point, and I have a big regret from this point in the tournament, because obviously getting to Worlds is like the one thing, and I did this in 2013. I got my World Championship qualification, I got my pay trip, and I wasn't really too concerned at that point about doing so well in the tournament, because I already felt like I'd won my big prize, and I just wanted to be there and play and meet people and hang out. And that was kind of like the wrong attitude to have, because I didn't perform very well and didn't prepare very well for that tournament. And I feel a little bit like I got to top 8 in this event, and I felt like I've top cut Worlds. That's like more than a dream come true, and I feel like I took my foot off the gas a little bit, and I really regret that, because I think a bit like I'd kind of approached 2013 Worlds, where I feel like I'd already kind of won personal like achievement in a way. I feel like I did this in this top 8 game, and this isn't taking anything away from Judy. Judy managed to get to the final, so I just feel like I could have played this a lot better, and like at this point I was just chuffed with how far I got, and I couldn't believe I top 8 Worlds. It was like, it's an achievement that can never be taken away from from you, and you know, it's like amazing, but I feel like I should have done better. And there's a few unfortunate things that happened in the match, but that's Pokemon. I should have played, there was definitely turns in the match that I could have played a lot better. And I've been through this game a million times before, so I know all about where I could have went differently and things like that. Again, I'll link this in the description below. But I got beat here, as you already probably know, because Judy got to the final, doing amazingly well. Played Sejun that year. It was an absolutely insane World Championships. And I got a nice bag, and I got this cool card, which is the quarterfinalist. It's never actually been touched, so it is mint condition still. But this is really nice. But that was, I didn't even get a trophy. Didn't get a trophy. I would have loved a trophy, but I don't know if top 8 get trophies. I'm pretty sure they don't. And that was that. And then since then we had and I've got a there's still a report of the team that I did from Worlds this year, which is online. It's in one of the Nugget Bridge archives, so I'll link that in the description as well for you guys to take a look at. Then 2015 rolled round. And championship points were a bigger thing that year, and I got to top 16 at UK Nationals, and I played Sekium in top 16, and I just needed to win one more round, win that round, and I would have got my paid trip again that year for the 2015 World Championships, which was amazing. And I won game 1 against Sekium, and going into game 2, he led off with Salamence Amoonguss, and I led off with Cresselia Kangaskhan. And I predicted a protect on the Salamence game 2, turn 1, and I thought I'll double into the Amoonguss with a double edge and a psychic, and once the Amoonguss is gone, I can just roll through this team. So I don't need to worry about Spore, I don't need to worry about Rage Powder or anything like that. And I clicked in my moves. Turn started, Salamence protects. I'm like, yes, I've got this, I've got this. And Kangaskhan, double edge in, chunks the Amoonguss. Cresselia uses Psychic, and it misclicked, and I'd Psychicked, and it had locked into the Salamence slot. And from there, the Amoonguss put my Cresselia to sleep, and the game went all wrong from there. And I really tilted game 3, and all down to that misclick. And I was so close again. I got my Worlds invite, day 1 invite, but I didn't want to pay to go to Worlds. I didn't really have the cash available to pay to go over, so I missed out there. 2016, the UK Nationals, I had a really good run in Swiss. Had a super tough run. I was playing that Assault Vest Mega Rayquaza at UK Nats that year, so that was a lot of fun. Got to top 32 there. Played Dan Oddsketon in the top cut there, and he just played way better than me, and I was so upset with losing there, because again it meant that I had my day 1 invite, but I didn't get my paid invite. And just with my financial situation at the time, I couldn't justify and didn't have the cash to pay for myself to go over to Worlds, which is a bit unfortunate. And now we're here, 2017, kind of rolled around, started the format. London happened. I didn't have a good finish in London, so I kind of gave up on the season, and then started the YouTube channel on the back of that, and then got asked to join the casting crew, and here we are today. But I am all but dedicated to getting to Worlds in 2018. I'm 100% pushing for that. So although I'm casting a lot of the time, a lot of the big events I'll be doing commentary at, I just feel like there's plenty of opportunities in regionals and special championships throughout the rest of the season for me to go and get 300 points. And I do have the cash now to happily say I could probably get myself to Worlds with a day 1 invite, and that's what I'm concentrating on this year. And I'm looking forward to doing that, and hopefully I can do that, because I want to play in day 1. I think it's such a grind, a grueling tournament. I really kind of relish the challenge of that. We've got a new format as well coming, so it's going to be super exciting, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I want to make at least one more big splash at Worlds, or try to, before I do hang my hat up for good competitively. But you know, I say this, I probably won't ever completely stop playing competitively, because I just love it so much. And I've had so many memories from all the years of playing. I've made so many good friends as well, and met so many absolute gems within the community, so many amazing people, had so many adventures as well, and I've not even shared half of them with you, but I hope you've enjoyed this little 1k sub special, a little journey to the insight of my Pokemon kind of journey from the very start with Pokemon Red right up through to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And I had some alright results in 17. I mean, I went to Malmo, the regional there, that was I got 9th in that tournament, which was pretty cool, especially when I wasn't taking the format too seriously at that point. I guess we could count the Sao Paulo challenge, online challenge. I got 3rd in that, which was a big achievement. I was pretty proud of that. But I feel like I'm just finding my feet again competitively, and I really want to start making a big push for next season. So as soon as London's out of the way and the casting's kind of done, I'm going to be attending events, and I'll obviously cast if I ever get asked to cast an event. I love casting, but I do have priority to make Worlds next year and play in Worlds. That's a massive dream of mine to do that again, and I'm super determined to do it and be back at Worlds again and see everyone and play some good Pokemon. So hopefully we can do that, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'd love to hear your comments and suggestions, well, comments on just what you think of this whole kind of debacle. But getting on to more important things. So this is a big thank you to you guys for all the support that you've given the channel. So I've bought some prizes. I can never work my camera out. I go this way and then I'm like, oh no, we need to be more this way. So 2017 season has been the year of Mimilax, or let's say it has, just for the prizes here. So I bought a plush Mimilax Snorlax, and I will be giving this away and this away. And all you guys need to do is leave a like and a comment on this video, and obviously be subscribed to the channel, and you enter the prize draw for these prizes. And what I'll do next Friday on the School of Hard Knocks episode, I'll announce the winners. And just like, sub, leave any comment in the comment section below, and you will be entered into the prize draw, and I will send them out first class to wherever you are in the world. It doesn't matter where you are, I will send them there. We had the last competition we did, I can't remember where I was sending it to. It was somewhere in Europe though. So it doesn't make a difference where you are, don't think, because you're in another country a million miles away from us. I'm not going to be sending those, but I will be sending them wherever you live. So all I want to say is thank you so much to each and every one of you. It's been an absolute delight to share this kind of story with you. It's nice to have such a kind of a decorated story to kind of tell you, with where I kind of started to where I am now, and just share some of the little memories that I've had along the way from battling and things like that. I think the proudest moment that I've had is obviously finishing top 8 at Worlds in 2014, and I hope it's not the last one, because I'd love to do better than that, but I don't know if I will. I sometimes think that maybe I was very lucky that year to get that finish. So I don't know. All I'm gonna do is keep trying, and we'll be continuing with the channel. I love doing the channel, I love putting content out, and I hope I'm offering some help to you guys and to newer players and things getting involved, and hopefully this is just the start of the journey as well. So it's just a big huge massive bigger than anything thank you to every single one of you for every comment, every like, every bit of support that you've given me. It's just been amazing, and hopefully this is just the start of the journey. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. Everything that's been featured in the little side videos here will be linked in the description below, so if there's anything you've seen that you want to go back and watch again, or check out or find more about, let me know, and you can go and do that. But yes, just one big huge thank you. Good luck to everyone in the competition taking place in that, and I look forward to lots more fun times and everything coming forward. We've got Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon coming out very soon, so it's going to be great. And wow, we're almost at an hour now, so this has been a pretty long episode, but I hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and just once again, thanks for every little bit of support. This community is absolutely amazing, and there is times where, you know, the community, you know, has fallouts, has bad times, but it's like a family. Family is always going through bad times, and there'll always be good times and bad times, but the Pokemon community is a huge family, and it is an amazing one. So I'm going to stop that because we don't need to see that video. And just being a part of it is just insane. Oh man, why have you got adverts? Let's get rid of this. Let's go back to that game. And that's all I want to say is just thank you for letting me be part of this family. I've had an amazing journey so far, and I hope it's not the last of it. And I just welcome anyone coming into this community, because it is an amazing community to be a part of. And you can have so many adventures, memories, and great journeys along the way. So if I can help anyone out in any way I can with anything to do with Pokemon or in life or in any way, form, shape or form, I hope I can. But that is it. A little bit emotional, I guess, but hope you've enjoyed it, guys. And I'm going to stop going on because it will just go on and on and on and on and on. And I will see you all very soon for some more Pokemon content on the channel. So until then, guys, you take care of yourselves as always, and I will see you very soon. So until then, bye-bye!